Donald Trump managed to stay awake long enough to unveil his latest tribute to himself, and it landed with a monumental thud. What was meant to glorify the Donald turned into an ego trap, and today he's being roasted for it. And coming up next, I have all the details and the most satisfying takedowns. I'm Dan, and welcome to another Occupy Democrats report. So you don't miss any of our takedowns of the man who is a tremendous architect of chaos and corruption, be sure and hit that subscribe button. And speaking of architecture, Donald Trump has arches on his mind, and no, it's not the golden arches this time. Let's get you up to speed on this story, and on the other side, I'll share a Republican insider who fearlessly reveals what's really going on with Trump's next destruction on our senses through ego-fueled construction.
President Trump wants to leave his mark on Washington, literally. He's pitching a giant Arc de Trump right next to the Memorial Bridge, and yes, that's what he's calling it. The president made the announcement in the East Room on Wednesday at the White House in front of donors that are invested in the White House Ballroom. To visualize it, he's had some 3D printed models made. In fact, he even posted a digital rendering on Truth Social. This is drawn by the same architect who's also working on Trump's new White House Ballroom.
And we have a policy thing that's going to be unbelievable happening.
No, what you're shamelessly promoting today does not meet the definition of policy.
We're building an arc like the Arc de Triomphe, and we're building it by the Arlington Bridge, the Arlington Cemetery, opposite the Lincoln Memorial. You could say Jefferson, Washington, everything, because they're all right there. And it's something that is so special. It will be like the one in Paris, but to be honest with you, it blows it away.
Excuse me, why is it a competition? Bizarre ego is why. And now let's drift into a lie because, well, you're Trump.
It's the only city in the world that's of great importance that doesn't have a triumphal arch. You know what that is? And this one is going to blow them all away. The one that people know mostly is the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, France. And we're going to top it by, I think, a lot. The only thing they have is history.
History is nothing, believe me. Well, it's just the one reason why every monument exists. You have words, the best words.
You know, 1860 is something, I always say, the one thing you can't compete with, but eventually we'll have that history too. But we're going to have something that the likes of which has never been done before. And it's been waiting for 200 years, literally. I think the Civil War got in the way of it. You know, the opening, they actually have they have four columns, four small columns with the eagles on top. And they have the circle, you know, before on the other side from the Lincoln. And it's so unbelievable.
So that was Trump's very messy description of his passion project. I don't think he's ready for Shark Tank with that dreadful pitch. But wait, there's one more utterance worth sharing.
When asked who the Arc is for, Trump told CBS News, quote, me.
And that leads us to the well-deserved ridicule for his bizarre vanity project. I had no shortage of content to choose from, but I picked Rick Wilson's analysis of Trump's arch because he's a former Republican strategist, and he's absolutely fearless as a Trump whisperer. Have a listen to his takedown.
Look, I think that the two things America's struggling working class and middle class voters are crying out for right now are a golden ballroom decorated in the style of Liberace/Saddam and a triumphal arch in D.C. Other than that, food prices, gas prices, rent, insurance, health insurance, none of those things really matter. It's the arc that's going to really make the sale.
What do you think's going on here?
I think he is unable to focus on anything beyond the stuff that he likes, the day-to-day, minute-to-minute stuff that he likes. Honestly, Molly, I know we're all amateur neurologists and amateur gerontologists lately, but this is the old man who wants to sit there and have his pudding at lunch and talk about the good old days. And that's what he's doing now. All this stuff it's like this weird twisted version of a legacy. None of these things are going to get built.
Right.
We're not building an arc. We're not building a ballroom. It's not going to happen. But he's going to try to make those things the center. And I think in some ways he's also trying to go back to the old days. Like he's thinking about when did his brand really take off? And he's thinking to himself, I'm going to be the Trump brand of the 80s or the 90s. It's gold, it's luxury, it's classy. None of it is any of those things, but he is going to try to play that idea. I feel like the decline and fall of Trump is now increasing in both frequency and amplitude about the degree to which all this stuff is crazy. Mm-hmm. And it's so disconnected from where people are. I mean, we are getting screaming alarm bells about the economy on every single front right now. We are getting not real improvement on inflation. We're getting no real improvement on jobs. All this stuff is really the exact opposite of showing some contrition and saying, you know what, I'm going to be right about tariffs in the end. I know it's hurting you right now, so we're going to try to find ways to help. He won't say that. He can't say that.
While Americans are struggling with real problems, Donald Trump is meandering back into real estate developer mode. Perhaps it's a comfort zone for a man on a cognitive slide, or maybe it's found within his other comfort zone, glorifying himself with another desperate attempt to fill that bottomless pit of ego. And when Trump and those around him start letting the phrase Arch of Trump instead of triumph slip from their weaselly lips, you can say that guy on Occupy Democrats said this would happen.